Small group leaders, how to facilitate and maintain a small group. What is a small group? A small group is a group of people that gather and are guided by a leader. They regularly meet, they open God's word, they are united in love, and they pray for one another. Probably out of all of those, prayer is the most important. Pearson says that there's never been a spiritual awakening in any country or locality that did not begin in united prayer. Martin Luther said, work from morning until night. In fact, I have so much to do, I will need to spend the first 3 hours of the day in prayer. Billy Graham said, to get nations back on their feet, we must first get on our knees. And Jerry Falwell said, nothing of eternal significance ever happened apart from prayer. Along with prayer, you'll need a vision. Here are 10 steps fulfilling your vision. First, get with God and get His vision for your life and ministry. Write down and picture it. Refer to it frequently. Believe that God can do and will do it. Ask God to do it His way and in His timing. Plan to fulfill your part. Learn everything you possibly can in order to accomplish your part of the vision. Work like it all depends on you. Pray like it all depends on God. Start small, but speak and live like the vision is becoming reality. And most importantly, don't quit. What does it mean to be a leader, and what are the breakdowns of a small group leadership team? In each small group, there will be a group leader. The group leader is responsible for facilitating discussions, recruiting apprentice, and building relationships. In each group, there will also be a group apprentice. The responsibilities of the group apprentice are learning to lead and build relationships. And also, each group will have a group host. The responsibilities of the group host are to make sure that the supplies are there, to keep an active track of attendance, and any other support that would be needed. What are the characteristics of a small group leader? Faithful, available, integrity, teachable, and heart for God. 8 habits of an effective small group leader. To be an effective small group leader, you must dream of leading a healthy, growing, multiplying group. You need to pray for your group members daily. Invite new people to visit your group weekly. Contact your group members regularly. Prepare for your group meeting. Mentor an apprentice leader. Plan group fellowship activities. And be committed to your own personal growth. We all need to sharpen our axes. There's a story of a young man who got a job cutting down trees. When he started, his first day, he cut down 10 trees. On his second day, he cut down 8 trees. And on his third day, he was only able to cut down 2 trees. There was an older gentleman who had been doing this job of cutting down trees for many years, and every day the man would cut down 6 trees exactly. The young man approached the older man and asked him, how do you consistently cut down the same number of trees each day? And yet I find it very difficult to cut down more trees, and I've actually cut down less trees. And the older man looked at him and he said, you need to sharpen your axe. Each day we need to sharpen ourselves with the Lord if we expect to be able to have any power. And just like the man who cuts down the trees with the axe, if we don't sharpen our axe, the more we do it, the harder it will become if we are only doing it in our own power. So one of the most important things about being a small group leader is making sure that we ourselves are in the right place spiritually in our walk with God. Well, what are the expectations of an apprentice? We can see that through PACE. Prayer. The apprentice should pray for the group members daily. They should have availability. The apprentice should be available regularly. The apprentice should make contact. The apprentice is expected to contact group members weekly. And finally, they should be an example. The apprentice is expected to be a positive example. Regularly, leaders will meet and discuss some of the things going on within their groups. Here are some of the questions that will be asked to each group leader. What are some good things that have been happening in your group? What have been some of the challenges? How is your apprentice doing? How is your host and location working? How are your relationships with your group members? Who is your group praying for to receive Christ? Are you achieving your goals? Has your group added any new members? How is your group participation level? How is your group's spiritual level? Along with meeting regularly, each leader will be given a covenant to commit to. A covenant would be made up of the following. The small group is a priority. I will make attendance and the involvement in this group a high priority in my schedule. Prayer. I will pray for the members of this group on a regular basis. I will also pray that God will send me new members to the group. Outreach. I believe that our group should reach out and involve others. Growth. I seek personal growth and the growth in the group both in quality and quantity. Availability. I will make time for people in my group. Confidentiality. I promise to keep confidential anything shared within the confines of our group. Accountability. I am committed to living a life of integrity and character. Love. I promise to seek to grow in my love for God and for the members of my group and for our future membership. Here's a basic overview of how a small group will function. The first 10 to 15 minutes will be spent with welcoming and getting to know and talk to the people in the group. The next 10 to 15 minutes will be a time of worship. That could be singing, praying, reading God's Word, drama, or any other form of worship. That will be followed by a time in God's Word. Each meeting you will look into God's Word and discuss how that applies to you, what is the passage saying, and what does it mean. At the end of each group time, you will work on a project, an opportunity to take what you've learned and apply it in a real-life situation. What are some of the small group rules? It's important that people understand when they come to your small group that it is a safe place. To make sure that they know that, you need to establish rules. Here are some important things to remember. Each group should emphasize conflict resolution. Remember that asking for forgiveness and giving forgiveness is a very powerful tool in building relationships. What is said in the group should stay in the group. People should be able to trust what's said will be kept confidential. Everyone participates, but no one dominates. The goal of a group is to get people to open up and to grow and to be real and authentic. Some people will want to take advantage of that and dominate the conversation. As a group leader, it's your responsibility to make sure that everyone is participating and that no one has taken over your group. Evangelism and growth. One of the main points of a small group is for it to grow. If you invite them, they may not come. If you don't invite them, they most likely will never come. So it's important to encourage your group to invite others and for you yourself to invite others. Every 4 to 6 weeks, we will give a gospel presentation with opportunities for group members to make a commitment to Christ. We will have a celebration for those who make decisions. Another good idea would be to keep an empty chair in your group so that you can pray that God will fill that chair with someone in the future. And finally, in your group, you'll have a time for worship, a time to fellowship, a time for reading God's Word. And finally, you'll want to be able to use what you've learned and take that into service. Here are some service project and event ideas. Perhaps your small group would like to start a puppet ministry or a drama team. Maybe your small group would like to write thank you letters to police, military, teachers, government workers. Maybe your small group would like to visit a nursing home or begin a children's ministry or find some community work project. Maybe your group would like to prepare meals for shut-ins and those in need. Maybe your group would like to start a newsletter or set up and take down events at church, or plan a concert or an event for the church. There are a variety of different things that you can do to live out your faith as a group. The important thing is that you begin to think outside of the walls of your group and think of the world out there that needs to see Christ and know who He is and what He's done for them. So each group has an obligation and an opportunity to go out and reach the world for Christ. And finally, as we consider what a group is, how it functions, what the responsibilities of a leader are, we must also realize that Jesus was a small group leader. He had 12 disciples. He trained them and He sent them out to change the world. You have no idea of how your small group can affect eternity, how it can affect neighbors, friends, relatives. You are involved in something that is eternal, something that you will never regret, something that will make a major difference. So I encourage you, this is a great task, but is a task worth taking. Do not be afraid. Trust in God. He has called you to this, and what He has called you to, He will bring you through, and He will be glorified.